So, welcome to today's little session here, which is based on calling in guides, angels, whatever it is, whatever spiritual master, teacher, figure, archetype you personally resonate with. And I invite you to feel maybe also surprised about who is coming in. And it may help you to figure out what the guides are or from which spiritual lineage, so to say, these guides are coming from, and being open for these guides to maybe come from a lineage that you, in terms of the heritage, so to say, of your human body, in this lifetime do not seem to be related to. And the principle of this is also that these, whatever you may call them, again, this is wide open and should fit into whatever belief, so to say, resonates most with you. But we can call them guides, we can call them gods, goddesses, angels. If we're calling in any beings, the only thing I would encourage you to do is call in beings of the highest love and light. That's the only, and in that sense, it can be wide open, but that's the only recommendation I would have for you, is to making clear by your intention that whoever you're calling in for support, clearing, healing, presence is a being of the highest order of love and light. And um, why it can be so important for us to connect with a specific guide or a specific higher being is because it helps us. It helps us as human beings to connect with a being that may also, first of all, may have wandered this earth as a spiritual master, or a person that has evolved as into a spiritual master, and is thus kind of like an example for us. But also because it helps our human vessel, our human brain, so to say, to connect with something that also is something that is recognizable for us in a human form, so to say. And they want to and need to be called in. So they're just waiting for you to call them in. But there is the principle of free will in on this plane, on this earthly plane, and the free will asks from us, or that basically these beings do not interfere if they're not asked to, because of the principle, because of the law of free will. So it's basically, you're not being demanding. That's basically what I want to say. You're not being demanding. There's nothing that is too much or too little to ask for. You're actually making use of a sacred reciprocity that they're happy to fulfill, but they need to be asked, and they need to be called in. And this is what we will invoke in this session. And I would invite us all to relax in our seat. If you're in a chair, it might be helpful to plant your feet on the ground, feeling the connection to earth, to the floor, and gently closing your eyes. And as we do here, I'd love for you to connect with your breath. And again, just a reminder that in the Sanskrit yogic teaching, the word for breath is the same as the word for life force. And what we want to do here is we want to expand and grow our life force, our prana. And we can do that as we do a little bit of breath work here, visualizing opening the crown of your head as you breathe in, breathing in prana, breathing in life force, breathing in a pillar of light through the top of your head into your heart space. And hold your breath and release through the back of your body. And let's do that again. Breathing in more prana, more life force through this pillar of light through the top of your head into your heart space, and releasing through the base of your spine into the earth. And now breathe in from the center of the earth, that earthly loving Gaia Adi Bhumi support from Mother Earth through the base of your spine, your seat, and releasing through the top of your head. And now again, breathing in through the top of your head, earthly, heavenly support, that pillar of light into the top of your head, and releasing through the base of your spine into the earth. And again, inhale from the center of this planet, breathing in earthly, grounding, motherly support into your body through the base of your spine and out through the top of your head. And once again, breathing in through the top of your head and releasing in all directions from your heart space. And normalize your breathing. Stay in your heart space for a moment. And can you visualize this heart space as this beautiful soft pink rose that you are gently giving permission now to open to the love, to the support, to the miracles, and the divine guidance that you truly need and long for. And that's what I'd like you to pay attention to. And this is where our tapping comes in, because I'd like you to pay attention to the resistance that may be coming up, even if it's subtle. For those of you that feel wide open, that's wonderful. If you're feeling some kind of a resistance, that is completely fine. And it's just another way to grow deeper, more resilient, more open. And let's acknowledge the resistance to opening your heart to this kind of divine, miraculous guidance. And see if you're noticing this resistance anywhere in particular in your body right now. Where does your body start to respond, contract? And it's nothing to judge, it's nothing to be harsh with. It is an old protector that at some point made sense, that wants to protect you from disappointment, from hurt. So let's just acknowledge that resistance, breathe into the resistance, and with your breath, with that prana, can we give it permission to receive love and light and prana? This resistance, this contracting part, so instead of pushing it out or away or suppressing it or being harsh with it or hard on it, we are offering it gentleness and love and protection. We're embracing it. And here we start tapping. We gently start tapping on the side of our hands, breathing into the resistance. If you can't really feel any resistance anywhere in particular, just guess where it would be in your body if there were resistance. If you're not feeling any resistance, just tap along with us anyway. And with the tapping, just give more and more permission to that rose to open more, in more brilliance and more beauty and more receptivity. So let's focus on that resistance in your body. And as we tap, we just state, I send that resistant part of me some love. I embrace that resistance with love and compassion. I redirect loving energy and prana, life force, into that resistant part that I may have shut down and judged and pushed away. I'm now offering it love and life force and compassion and gentleness. And check in with this part of you, that resistant part that may be scared of disappointment, or maybe they've heard it's not safe to trust. Maybe they've experienced it's not safe to open and trust. It's safer to stay in that old limited space, because then I wouldn't experience hurt or disappointment. Then I wouldn't receive punishment. Then I wouldn't disappoint others and thus wouldn't be safe. Feel into how old or young this part of you is as we keep tapping on the side of our hands. And can we let this part of you know, of us know, I love you dearly. I have so much love and compassion for you. And I'm so sorry what you went through, what you learned, what you took on. Everything you're feeling makes sense. You make sense. And I love you with all my heart. And as we tap through the points now, top of your head, I'd encourage you to listen to this part and what this part of you has to say. And we're not shutting it down, we're not pushing it away. Let all the energy that this part of you has been holding on to, let all the energy express so it can transform, alchemize, and evaporate. So let this part of you speak. Eyebrow points, this resistant part of you. Let it speak, let it say what it has to say. This doesn't feel safe. This doesn't feel okay. This isn't allowed. This isn't permitted. This isn't safe. I can't trust. I can't let go. Side of the eyes, or maybe they have learned that accepting help, that receiving support came at a price. Under your eyes, maybe they have learned from others, from family, parents, caregivers, caretakers, authority figures, that the divine, that God was not a benevolent force, was a punishing force. So it's not safe to open to that guidance. Under the nose. Let this part of you just speak. Under the mouth. And as it speaks, you can visualize yourself breathing in more light, breathing in more prana into that part of yours. You're meeting this part as it speaks with all of this love, with all of this life force, making it feel so accepted and so loved and so heard and so seen. Collarbone points. And let this part know with all of this love and this prana that you're inviting in. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'm so sorry that this is what you learned. I'm receiving you fully and completely. I'm embracing you fully and completely. You're met with pure love and light right now. Letting this alchemize, letting what this force brings in be a force of alchemization. And embrace this part of you that has been feeling the resistance, and we now invite this part to surrender and release the resistance. It made sense in the past, and you're giving it all the time it needs. And for those of you who are watching the replay and you're feeling this needs more venting, this needs more expression, I would encourage you to stop this video now and give it more time and return to the video when you feel it has expressed enough. Checking in with it, is there more? And I would encourage you to visualize a big golden bubble in front of you, a golden bubble of alchemization, and everything, all the fears, the stories, the events, the people that are coming up around that resistance to be going into that golden bubble of alchemization, surrendering it into it. And now what we'll do, and we'll tap on the collarbone points as we do it, and I encourage you to keep your eyes closed for this one. Visualize this golden bubble. And now see if you invite in, and you say it out loud, I call in my guide of the highest love and light, my beloved. The incarnation, the messenger of the divine of God. God incarnated in the form of this being. And maybe someone specific comes up for you. And maybe it's a god or goddess, Buddha, Jesus, Kuan Yin, an archangel. This is wide open and there's no wrong and right here. Definitely no wrong. And I call them in. And you call them in specifically to alchemize this golden bubble, to be the alchemizer, to be the transformer of whatever is in that golden bubble. And if there's more that needs to go into that bubble of alchemization, any current issue, spiritual, physical, mind blocks, blockages, challenges, people, situations, circumstances, can you surrender it into that bubble and let this being that you called in take it over for alchemization and transformation? And they happily do it. They couldn't wait for you to ask them to do it. They're so happy you called them in. These beings, they look at you like you are the most miraculous child of God that you really are. The most precious being imaginable. A being of wonder and love and light. That's how they look at you. And they couldn't wait for you to say, I surrender this to you. I cannot do it alone. And I let it go. And I give it into your arms, into your hands. And see what happens with this golden bubble as this being holds it and what it does to it. Does it bring in more light? Does it evaporate? Does it transmute? What does it do with the golden bubble? Or does it simply bring it away? And it is a simple, none of my business anymore. But I know and I can trust that anything that was put into it will be transformed into the highest good of all, for all. Love and light and peace. Because love transforms all. And just let it happen. Let it happen. And now let this being come close to you. Can you be held in its arms? Can you be embraced? Can your foreheads meet? Do you feel like you need to pay you want to, or you need to pay your respect to that being? And taking a bow, a namaskar. Do you feel called to sit at its feet? Or are you embraced eye to eye, head to head, on its chest? And as this happens, wherever you feel like you're positioning yourself at this or close to this being, what happens here is that you're completely entrenched and enveloped into the energy of this divine being. And does it have a message for you? Or is all that is there is just being in that energy, basking and bathing in the energy of this divine presence that you have called in and you can call in anytime? And what they're always trying to tell you is you don't have to do any of this alone. Breathe in this love, breathe in this energy, anchoring it into your body. And let's put both hands on the heart. And again, feel yourself anchoring in this presence, anchoring in this energy, anchoring in this reality. let this sitting now come to its completion. Knowing that you can call in this presence and be connected with this presence at all times. And knowing that completion for now, for this moment in time, does not mean cutting you off. But it means resting in the awareness that you were now given whatever you needed to be provided for in this situation, in this moment, in this time. And let this end with a thank you, thank you, thank you to this presence, to this deity, to this being. So it is, and so it is, and so it is. And you can gently bring yourself back, gently take a few breaths, a few conscious breaths that bring you back into our community, our joint space here. As always, I say thank you for being here. Thank you for tapping and meditating along. Much love and namaste.